Hey guys, welcome to my second ever YouTube video. So today we're going to cover a bit of my life story, part two. We'll call this part two, eh? But yep. Grew up as a young kid. Barely had a dad growing up. Brought up by my mum. Her name is Nadia. My dad's name is Ruben. Growing up, done the usual, eh? Went to school. Listened to mum. They split up. When I was about real young, about 6 years old. 6 years old or something like that. 5 or 6, around there. And my dad was always in and out of our lives. Yeah, he'd come and go. He'd come for a bit, and then him and mum would fall out, and then he'd go. It was hard. It was hard growing up without a dad. It was. At times, we'd see him every second week. We'd do that for a little while, and then him and mum would fall out again. They always had fallouts, our mum and dad. They always did. And we wouldn't see him for half a year. It was always like that. Our dad was always in and out of our lives. I also have other siblings that my dad also has other kids. But yeah, born and raised up by my mum. Yep. My mum seen her with a couple or few men. He'd meet them. They'd come over, stay over, or whatever. Then she met there is Harley, Serene, Simpson, and Maya Puhi, Storm. I have the 6 youngest ones. They have a different dad. And my mum met him when I was about 8, 9 years old. Yeah. About 8, 9 years old, around there. Didn't like him at first. I actually didn't like him. I thought he was just an uncle. We were moving houses, and one of my uncles introduced him to my mum. All I remember was just seeing this random other guy. I thought he was our uncle. Helped move our things, and then next minute see him in bed with my mum, and that broke my heart as a kid, because I always only wanted to see my mum and my dad together. I always wished that, but now I've realised and learned that that's never going to happen again, and that's okay. But it broke my heart seeing my mum in bed with another man, like sleeping next to each other. And I know what goes on when you're sleeping next to each other. Kids ain't dumb. Yep. And slowly he stayed over and started driving our car, and I knew from there, oh yeah, He's a bit more than an uncle. He's a bit more than that guy that just started helping move. And then one day, he took me, Fortani Skyly Tiekina. He took me and three of my other siblings to the bus stop in our car. And he said to us, I can't remember exactly what he said, but he basically said, what do you guys think of me being with your guys' mum? And man, that broke me even more. Him saying to be with my mum. Because he wasn't my dad. Yeah, they broke me even more. And my siblings, they were like, yeah. And me, I was in the back. I actually started tearing up. Just as a little kid hearing that and really wanting my mum and my dad together and wanting my dad around, that just broke me, man. And I just agreed. I just went with what everyone else said because I cared what they were going to think of me. I people pleased, basically. That's all I knew. Just a little kid. And yeah, put a smile on my face when really deep down inside I was breaking as a little kid. I hated him. I hated my mum's partner from the get-go. From the go, I saw him in bed with my mum. I hated him. And I just hated it. Like, that's not my dad. And anyways, he ended up being with my mum and dad and met his family and they had kids and life goes on. Yep. And life goes on. Moved in, we moved houses. He became our stepdad, our new dad kind of thing. I didn't like him all along. Literally, I didn't. Like, I put a smile on my face. I people pleased the whole way along. Yeah. Yeah, went through primary school. That was awesome. Primary school. I loved it. We were also one of those families. We were one of those families that moved around a lot. Like, we'd be in the house for a year or couple years or a few years, and then we'd move another house. We'd be living in the city, in the city or close to the city, and then we'd move an hour and a half away, way out in the country. Then we'd move back to the city. Then we'd move half an hour out into the country. We were just one of those families who kept moving a lot because of finances, because of size of houses, stuff like that. We weren't very rich growing up. And yeah, primary school was awesome. Went to intermediate, played heaps of sports. Primary played rugby. What else did I play? Cricket. I basically played any sport that I could get my hands on, really. And I've done very good at them. Done very good at rugby, at cricket, best team in cricket in Gisborne, in my city for primary schools. Intermediate. Yeah, went to intermediate and started getting a little bit serious. Played heaps of sports, softball, indoor bowls. I'm a 2 year in a row national champion at intermediate. It's a place up in Tauranga called Ames Games. I think that's just the North Island. I can't 100% remember, but it's either the whole of New Zealand or the whole North Island of New Zealand. Well, I took out the pairs 2 years in a row for that. Played rugby, done kapa haka. So for any of you that don't know what kapa haka is, that is Māori traditional war dance, or if you know the All Blacks, they always do the haka. Well, I done that at school and was in the school, my intermediate school team, do kapa haka. Yeah, played rugby at school, played weekend rugby, played for the school. But always done sports, done pretty well. And my last year, 2 years in intermediate, and my last year of intermediate, I realised, man, life is getting more serious and serious. And my teacher at the time, she was lesbian. I think I talked back to her, and she said like, if you're not going to work hard, if you're going to talk back like that, you're not going to survive in high school. And she's really putting me down. And I didn't, it wasn't nice. It wasn't nice getting growled in front of all the children. And that's the moment I knew, man, life is going to get fucking serious. Yeah. We'd done that intermediate. Then went to high school. No, we stopped going to school for a little bit. My mum was sort of trying to do homeschool for us because she doesn't believe in the government system and all that. The education system as well. So she kept us home. Man, I went surfing a lot with my uncle, and she was trying to homeschool us. I think that went on for about half a year, and then first year of high school went to a country high school. Or that's where I done my first year of high school, was in the country, because we lived in the country. We moved back to town. I went to Gisborne Boys High School for the next few years of my high school, and yeah. I took on competing surfing. So I gave up rugby second year of high school, because my uncle, who is a former Māori All Black, my uncle Paho Maki, he's an All Black. He's a Māori All Black, and you got to be pretty good to make this team. Well, he told me, nephew, if you're not serious about rugby, give it up. It's not worth it if you're not serious to make money out of it, because you'll end up with me like a fucked hip. And I really listened to him. I was like, if a legend like you is saying this, then I should be listening. Anyways, I listened and I said, okay, uncle, I'm not serious. And he said, well, give it up. I gave it up, and I took on surfing. I was about 13. I was about 13, 14 when I decided to take on surfing. And my Uncle Harley Te Pairi, very grateful for this man. Honestly, very, very, very grateful for this man to be in my life. He was a very good role model for me. He was a surfer, builder, positive guy, bettering himself, handsome, tan as fuck, or almost black, or you can say it. Handsome guy, and he ended up being a role model for me. He was he ended up teaching me how to surf, and that went on, and I got better. And one of my uncles, my uncle Hore Lewis, sponsored me, and I had a surfboard sponsor, and he made my first ever custom made surfboard. Shout out to you, Uncle Hore. And shout out to you too, Uncle Harley. yeah, I really took on surfing and competed in my high school a comp, and I joined the Gisborne Board Riders, started competing in Gisborne. Didn't I didn't go too far. I didn't yeah. I didn't take on surfing to try and become Kelly Slater kind of thing. It was just something to strive for, but not too serious. Anyways, yeah, done that surfing, and yeah, done that throughout my high school years. I was about 14 when my mum, she decided to move away from Gisborne, all the way down to Napier, on a dairy farm. And I didn't want to leave Gisborne because I was really taking on surfing, and I actually wanted to be with my dad as well. And yeah, I asked my mum, can I basically go live with dad? Like we were seeing our dad at this time, and he knew about us, or my mum moving away, and he was really like pushing and talking to me. Talk to your mum. Say this, say that. Say that you come live with me and have a better life, and I'll give you this and I'll give you that. And yeah, and I talked to my mum, and she really thought about it. And because, well, my mum said, yes, I think you're strong enough to go out into the big world now, son. I was only 14 years old, about that. And my mum saying that to me was huge. Man, huge. I am the only one out of all my siblings, the older ones, or no, the ones that I know, out of all my siblings, I am the only one that she let go. Like, actually said yes. My older siblings, they all ran away. My younger ones, the ones that are a couple years younger than me, they've done that. I am the only one that my mum said, yes, I think you're strong enough, son. And man, what a privilege and an honor to be the one. I've always been different. I've always been different from the get-go. Like, I'll say this. Out of 19, I have 19 siblings, right? Out of all of them, I'm the only fair. I got blue eyes. I had really blonde hair when I was a kid, like white blonde child. That's how different I was. Out of 19, 9. The only blue, white-eyed one. And from that, I knew, I'm way different. Not way different, but I'm different to my siblings. And I've always felt that growing up. I always felt that, like, yeah, always felt that. And it's God speaking to me, obviously, because that was my heart speaking to me. And anyways, yeah, where was I? Yeah, privilege and honor for my mum to be able to do that. And she said yes, and man, I was happy. I was like, yeah, I get my dad. Because growing up, never having my dad, seeing these men come in, seeing my mum have partners, seeing my mum have my younger siblings' dad, man, I was over the moon. Literally, I was like, fuck. Man, I can still feel that feeling today that I got released to my dad. And yeah, moved. I ended up moving with my dad, and yeah. Went back to Gisborne Boys High School and had a girlfriend. I actually had girlfriends growing up in primary, intermediate. When I moved with my dad, another girlfriend. Before her, I had a girlfriend as well. I always had girlfriends. It's funny, man. Funny. Yeah, I was also moving with my dad. Bought me this, bought me that, and thought I was living the life. Grateful for that. And anyways, I was about 14, 15, and my dad ended up getting drug busted. Yeah. My dad ended up getting drug busted, and he was coming up with a plan for me and who to go live with, and I ended up moving to one of my uncles, my Uncle Tommy, my Uncle Thomas Okuhata. Another shout out. Thank you, Uncle, for all your help that you have done. My Uncle Tommy, or Thomas Okuhata. We got a bit of a funny relationship. We always laugh with each other. I call him Gabo. Or Gabo. We just laugh. No. My Uncle Tommy was next door, and my Auntie Ria. My dad rang up my uncle and asked, "You got a room for my son? You got a room for Tiki?" He goes, "No, Ria does next door." Thank you to Auntie. Shout out to you, to Auntie Ria, Akuhata. They're brother and sister. Well, anyways, I ended up moving to my auntie's. So thankful for everything that I've gone through. And I moved. Oh man. I moved into a room with my cousin Boaza. Shout out to you too, Boaza. Our cousin Boaza. Or was. We were like surf buddies, and we always surfed together. Like when my Uncle Harley was teaching me surfing, my Uncle Tommy was teaching Boaza how to surf, and I would be with my Uncle Harley at the beach, and then Boaza and my Uncle Tommy would show up to the beach, and we'd and we'd just be so happy and just stoked and out there and enjoying ourselves surfing and seeing each other. And we moved in with him. My dad gave me some money, put it in my bank as savings, quite a bit of money. Bought heaps of meat for me, chucked that in the freezer. My dad gave me a really good kickstart. I was about 14, 15 years old. Who does this at this age? Boarding, living on their own, literally, but I was living on my own. I had to fend for myself. I was 14, 15 years old, my dad got drug busted, so I couldn't live with him. He was in the process to go to jail, which he didn't end up going to jail, and man. Anyways, moved to my auntie's. I was still going to high school at this time too. And I worked at an Indian restaurant, Tamarind. It was literally, I could see work from our lounge actually. I was just 50 meters walk to work, and I ended up working, it ended up being like 4 days a week, and then I ended up working every day of the week basically, and 14, 15 years old doing this. What was I, 16? Around there, 14, 15, 16. Boarding, buying my own food, going to the gym. I was gymming as well. When I go to high school, I'd gym at lunchtime in the gym. Straight after school, I would go to Jets, the gym, and I'd come home and make a feed in that. And yeah, I'm so fucking grateful. I'm very, very, very grateful for going through that. And yep, basically living on my own. Got introduced to alcohol. I already had lost my virginity. I think I was about 13 or something, very young. Snuck out one night when I was living with my mum. I don't think my mum knows, but now she knows. Yeah. Living with my auntie, feeding for myself, and yeah. Got introduced to alcohol, went to my first ever party. It was actually me and my mates, me and the circle that I was with. We went to what you call the show, where like, I don't know, it's like rides and horse, like you got the farmers thing, and we were going on a ride, and these girls, they were friends of my friend, were by the ride as well, and I'm pretty sure they asked, "Are you coming tonight for drinks?" And then, because I was living on my own, I was like, yeah. Oh, my mate was like, should we go? I was like, oh yeah. We were invited, and he goes like this. Oh, she likes you. I was like, who? I thought he was pointing at like the uglier one out of them. And I thought it was her. I was like, oh hell, she's not even pretty. But it ended up being the I'll just say the prettiest one out of them. And she was pretty. She was pretty. And anyways, we went after the show, we went back to my mates and hanging out and getting dressed and got ready for the party. And yeah, that was my first ever time I went to a party and drunk, and man, 3 drinks and I started getting dizzy and I just wanted to go to sleep. And I told my mate, man, I'm feeling dizzy. He goes, oh, you're gone. Yeah, 16, 15 years old doing this, and from there, just girls, and ended up hooking up with that pretty one that night, and yeah, really started to know what heartbreak was and feelings, and like we ended up partying every weekend. Because I was living on my own, basically, I was doing these things like I could. I didn't have no mum or dad. I didn't, I was my mum and dad. I could do whatever I want. Had money, not a lot of money, but I had savings, That money that my dad put into my savings, I was meant to save it, but I spent it all. Spent it all on McDonald's after the parties, spent it on shouting the boys' beers and clothes to look good, and yeah, around 15, 16 was just drinking with school during the week, and then the talk during the week was, oh, there's their party around, and oh man, what a life. You party on the weekends, drink, get drunk as fuck, and man, I remember my first ever hangover, that was shit. I've never felt anything so bad before. Dry and fucking just thirsty for water, Man. Yep. Done all of that, and yeah, girls. That was my hoe stage. Like literally hoe, like yeah, crazy. Just girl after girl after girl after girl, and yeah. Yeah, I got that bad that I would literally sleep with the girl. Then from her house I'd go to her mates. Like that's how much of a hoe I was when I was at that age. When I was young, 15, 16. And I'm my ex before my partner now. I remember seeing her. I actually was banking about $1,000 into my bank. And I saw her, I was like, whoa, that girl's pretty. And she was with a guy. And anyways, so I was like, fuck, I'm gonna get to know this girl, and yeah, ended up finding her on social media, ended up just saying hello, and next minute you know, she's sneaking out. She's just down the road, so she snuck out, comes over, and sleep together and whatnot, and I actually got her pregnant their first ever night. And a few months later, I was out at a party, fucking looking at other Sheilas, and yeah, she basically rung up and said, I'm pregnant. She messaged or rung saying I'm pregnant, and we were seeing each other, but semi-serious. But I was fucking seeing heaps of other girls, and yeah, ended up in a relationship with that girl. I was 17. We aborted the baby. I told you I'm not ready to be a father. Like, I just knew in myself. I was wise about it. Don't bring a child into this life. You're young. You're dumb. Look at what you're doing with your life. And it broke her. Yeah, we bought a baby, and she's broken. And then after that, I basically said, do you want to be together? And then we ended up being in a relationship. We were almost going on 4 years or something. And then, yeah, we broke up. We lived together. I ended up moving in. How did that happen? No, there was a part there where I was when I was staying with my auntie. My dad didn't end up going to jail, and I moved back with him. And then I moved with my ex, my partner at the time. Yeah, I moved in with her dad, her grandparents. Yeah, we lived out in the country, and I lived there for a couple of years. And then we broke up. I went through all that depressed stage, all those fucking wanting to kill myself and suicidal thoughts and all that shit. I've been through the depressed stage. And yeah, after we broke up, moved back to my dad's. My dad was understanding, and lived with my dad for a few years or a couple years. Then we had a fallout. Had a fallout with my dad. Oh man, don't need to go into detail. And then funny thing is, I actually moved back with my Uncle Tommy, my Uncle Thomas Akata. This time it was with him. And I'm at all this stage and moving back with my uncle. I think I was about 21. Yeah, about 2021. Moved with him. I was a builder, working full time, and had a boss that paid me shit. Had a shit boss. Yeah. Paid me way under. I'm not going to go into detail, but went way under the minimum wage. It was illegal. And but it's all good. I've learnt much and heaps from that. And yeah. Lived with my Uncle Tommy. After me and my ex broke up, I went straight back to... Oh, okay, I'll go back. When I was with my ex, I threw in the drinking. That was my main problem, was that. No, that wasn't the only problem, actually. But I threw in the drinking because that voice, God was speaking to me. You need to give up that shit because it's not healthy for your relationship. And so I did. I was clean for almost 4 years. And also when I was semi-seeing my ex, I was cutting down on the alcohol back then too. Like, you could ask my mates at the time. I stopped bringing a whole box to a party. I started having 5 drinks. Then I started cutting it down to 4. Then 3, 2, 1, and then none. I've always felt this I'm called for more feeling. God was speaking to me back then. You're meant for more. Give this shit up. It's not good for you. Anyways. So that was that at about that age, and he didn't drink, smoke with my ex, but I did do a lot of bad things. Like, I had a porn addiction. I've had porn addictions. Yeah, I used to watch it and fucking jack off and all that dumb shit. I no longer do that. And I think that's partly why we also broke up, because I was doing bad shit. So God's not going to reward that. He's going to take away it. And back to living with my uncle. Back to living with my Uncle Tommy. I was 21 at the time, and yep, back to clubbing, back to the drinking. Not drinking hardcore, but I'd only drink when I go out, just to get that, just to break that, that unconfidence. You know, when you drink, you feel confident, but when you're sober and you go out, you just feel not right. Well, yeah. Fucking girls. Not really feeling good. Not feeling good afterwards. yeah, just going to work and very average life. Then one day, I was building. Me and my boss were doing a bit of building at this house, and well, this is how I met my partner now. My queen, my wife, my future wifey, my soulmate. This is how I met her. I was digging. We were building a deck. My boss was out, and it was middle of summer. I had a singlet on, had a straw hat on, shorts, boots, and digging holes for the piles. Digging holes for the piles. And out came the owner, which is my partner's mum. She came out and said, "Hey, meet my daughter." And I turned around. I was like, "Oh yeah? Oh yeah." Like my initial thoughts went dirty. They went bad. They weren't lustful thoughts or that. But so I just yawned a little bit. Turned around, I was like, "Oh yeah." And they wanted to buy my festival tickets that I wasn't going to no longer, and met her daughter, which is my partner now. And, yeah, I initially thought, "Fuck, you're beautiful," and there's just something about her. And we got talking, and she first said, "Oh, why aren't you going?" And to me, that was like sort of like a hint, like go and come. Anyway, she said that, "Why aren't you going?" I was like, "Oh, no, it's not me, eh?" She goes, "Come." I was like, she said, "Come, go." I was like, oh nah, it's just not me. And anyways, I think it was your mum said, oh no, I think I said something like, "I'll get your number, like, so we can talk about the ticket." And then, well, that's how it all started. And her stepmom at the time, I messaged her because we used to communicate for the job. And she said, "Hey, what's my number so we can talk about and communicate about the ticket?" And then she gave me her number, and I thought I was away. So I was like, "Oh, sure." All along, her mum thought I was cute and handsome, and yeah. Apparently, they'd be looking out the window. Oh no, they would be inside. I'll be working away outside, and she'd be like, look at him. He's good. He's good looking." That's what I got told. And yeah. Anyways, I got her number, and then I just felt the urge to like search her up on social media, and then yeah, searched her on social media, messaged her, and yeah, the rest is history. Man, we 2 and a bit years. 2 and a bit years later. Man, fuck. She's amazing. Like when we were working, when I got her number and that, she would bring us out food. We would literally be messaging each other while I was working out. She'd be inside and I'll be outside. I'll be building away and working away. And before our day started, she would message, "Hey, help go through this door in the shed, and there'll be Red Bulls for you guys," because that was the drinks. That Coke no sugar, Sprite no sugar, were the drinks that her mum used to give us. She's a nice lady. But yeah, her daughter would message and be like, go in this fridge and just go through the door and they're in there. And she was bringing us out food and bringing me out fish and chips or pizza. And it's like, whoa, this girl is so different. Oh yeah. Yeah, rest is history, and been together, what is it now, going on 2.5 years? 2 and a bit, eh? Almost 3? Yeah, been amazing. And before we met, so I'm 23 years old now. For the past couple years, I've been feeling this voice speaking to me, which is obviously God, telling me to move away from my city that I lived in, which is Gisborne. Move away because you're going to grow more. You're going to grow better. This place no longer serves you. And yeah, now we're currently living in Wellington, which is 8 hours away from where I'm from. How I knew I needed to move was because I was literally seeing posts all over social media when I was scrolling, and that you got to move away to grow, to learn, to be better. And yeah, my partner's currently studying at Victoria University, and what made us move was, what made me move first was the personal development that I would get from moving away from my comfortability, from moving away from my family, so that I grow. It was all about growth for me first. And then also bonus, my partner had to come here and be a physical in person to study at a university. So it's just a win-win situation. And yeah, we're here, beautiful house, just beautiful everything. And yeah, we've been here for just under 1 year and a half. And yeah, that is my life, where I've come from, what I've come from, and what I'm currently doing. Yeah, I am just working in the construction sites, construction trade. Yeah, that is where I'm at the moment. There is a lot, but I didn't want to go into detail of everything. But there is a lot of things I have left out through my life, obviously. Can't get it all. But those are the main things, what I've come from to where I'm at now. No longer poor. No longer like living in a broken, depressed house. Yeah. But yep, that is part 2 of my life. Anything else? And yeah, you guys are going to see more things of what I've come from and what I currently have and currently at. And you are also going to see where I'm going to head, where I'm going. Yeah. But yeah, much love, take care, thank you guys for watching and listening. And yeah.